What's it like owning a dairy cow? Oh, Buttercup. Well, I'm going to answer a few questions about that. That might be helpful. Hi guys. Today is going to be a little bit different. I've got some questions in front of me. These are not necessarily questions that other people have asked us, although some of them are. But a lot of them are questions that we had ourselves when we were thinking about getting a cow. These are things that might have made us feel a little bit more prepared had we known them going into this. Okay, the first question, one that we were concerned with, and kind of the ultimate reason why we got a cow. But how much milk do you get? Well, when a cow first gives birth, they start giving milk, and that's why they give milk, is to feed their baby. And it starts out kind of high. We got 4 gallons of milk when we first started milking her. And we didn't milk her right away. We let the baby get the colostrum for about a week before we started to milk her. So yeah, we started out getting about 4 gallons of milk, and that's just off of the grass that we had in our pasture. We didn't feed her anything else. We didn't have alfalfa at that point because we had plenty of grass out back. We didn't supplement her with any grain at all. In fact, we've never intentionally fed her grain, although she has gotten into the grain sometimes, you know, the pig's grain. Naughty girl. But so only 3 times in her life or so has she had grain. And so that's a lot of milk on just grass. Like I said, it wasn't even alfalfa. It wasn't even quality grass as far as I would put it. The milk production slowly decreases. So for us, the 4 gallons, after about 3 or 4 months, it went down to 3.5 gallons, and then to 3. And now, so a year and a half after she gave birth to her calf, we're still getting about 1.5 gallons per day. How much pasture does she have or need? You could easily have a cow on 1 acre. I will definitely say that. The reason I say that is, so right now we have her rotated on big strips of land. They're about 200 feet long by about 16 feet wide. I just kind of pasted off and ran electric wire between them. And so we just have her on one of those sections at a time. And she'll be there for about a week, and then we'll lock that off so the grass can regrow, move her to the next part. However, before that, we were doing it the really hard way. I actually had these 16-foot long, thick pipe panels. I think they're horse panels, I think is what they're called. And they were just here on the property, so we've utilized them wherever we can. And what I did is I made a square out of those, so just a square pen, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I had 3 others, and what I would do is I'd let her on that, so 16 by 16 foot square, for 1 day, 1 day only. And then the next day I would open up this one into the other pen, the other section of 3, and lock her in there. And she was so excited to get to that new grass. And then I'd take these ones and move them over in preparation for the next day. So 1 day each. And that intensive grazing really was good for our grass and good for her too. She only, goodness, I don't even know if we went through 1 acre in the whole year that we were feeding her, or the whole season, subtracting winter, and the grass wasn't available to her. But so right now she's on 3 acres, and we rotate her through that. But the intent behind that is to use only half of those sections for her to graze on, and use the other half to cut for wintertime feed. And we're hoping that with 2 acres of winter hay, that'll be enough for her to survive easily, and she'll only be grazing on 1. So we're wanting to get back to that intensive rotational grazing, which you can look up. It's really cool. Joel Salton has a lot to say on that. Very helpful, very cool stuff. Next question. How much does she eat in 1 day? If you take a cow's weight, and we're just estimating, and we actually asked the people that we bought her from, how much does she weigh? We estimated that she is about 850 pounds. And they said you take that figure, 850, you say that is how much hay in pounds that she will eat in 1 month. So you just divide that by 30, I guess, and you find out how much she will eat in 1 day. Generally speaking, not a gigantic bale, but there's like a medium-sized bale of hay. It's like 3 by 4 by 6 feet long, something like that. And it's about 850 to maybe 1,100 pounds, depending on how tightly it's compacted. So if you figure about one of those bales per month in the wintertime is enough to feed a cow. And those bales cost, well, depending on the year, anywhere from 40 is the lowest I've seen it, which is awesome, up to 200 if you're getting certified organic hay, which we would love to do. We can't always afford it. In fact, we rarely can. But when she's on our property, it is organic, although it's not certified. It is natural. Okay, next question. How does she get water? Well, ideally, we would have a little pump in the ground and a little well or some kind of pressurized water right next to where she drinks. Currently, we have to run a 200-foot hose line from the house all the way out to the barn where we feed her. Previous to that, we were running a 500-foot hose plus several garden hoses, so maybe up to 1,000 feet of hose out to where she was actually pastured, and that was not fun. By the time we got out there, the water pressure was so low that it would take 15 minutes to fill up her little 100-gallon container, whereas it would only take 5 minutes right next to the house. So right now she's pastured and she has free reign to come back to the barn at any point, no matter which section she's in, those long sections where she's grazed. So she's always able to come back in to that central location where she sleeps at night in the fresh straw and is able to get the water. And occasionally we have to scrub it out. Maybe weekly we'll dump it out and scrub it and sanitize it and then put fresh water in it. Next question. And we've actually had a lot of people ask us about this next one, about how many times we milk her per day. We milk Buttercup only once a day, and part of that is because we don't need very much milk. Right now she's giving us 1.5 gallons. Before we had a cow, we never ever would have drunk that much milk, and now we have to invent ways to use up the milk. We make cheese all the time and yogurt, and we cook with cream, and we change up recipes to include more milk, things like that. And so if we were milking her twice a day, we would be getting more than that. Although I was actually really surprised when we went from milking twice a day down to just once, so just in the morning. We didn't see a drastic decline in the amount of milk we were getting. And I desperately needed a break. My hands were hurting so bad. So that was actually a major reason why we stopped milking twice a day. I just needed a break. And we were very, very pleasantly surprised. We've read a lot about, and I'm kind of going off the subject of the question, but we've read a lot about grass-fed versus grain-fed, and we feel that it's a lot healthier for our family. There are a lot more nutrients. The cow's healthier as well if she is on a grass-fed diet. And grass-fed can actually include alfalfa and other legumes. So the kind of popular definition, I'm not sure who makes up these definitions, but grass-fed, if you buy organic grass-fed milk in the market, rest assured it's not just grass. They're also getting legumes, including alfalfa. So there is just a short handful of questions that, had we known earlier, we probably would have been a little bit more prepared, and we would have been encouraged by the answer to those questions. I'd say when we first started asking people questions about cows, we were probably not asking the kind of people that were thinking in terms of how we wanted to raise a cow. Most people gave us the answers that commercial growers were telling us, and we're very grateful for their support and for their encouragement to get a cow. Although we did also get a lot of discouragement. People told us, no way are you ever going to be able to raise a cow on a small acreage. That's ridiculous. No way are you going to be able to get a decent amount of milk without giving her grain. That was a very common discouraging answer, and we knew the price of grain, and we didn't want to do that. That is just completely false. You can absolutely raise a cow on just grass. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful. These are just a few of the things that we've learned along the way. And if you have any questions, please let us know. We'd be happy to answer other questions. Again, we are nowhere near any authority on the subject, other than we've had quite a bit of experience in the short amount of time that we've had a cow. Hey, Buttercup. She's licking the camera now. Oh, gross. Cow spit. All right. Thanks for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll talk to you later.
Hey Daddy, what you doing?
Hey, we're making stew. Using free potatoes from behind the grocery store.
We looked in that bag and there was only one squishy one. You're skating with the gigantic skates.
Awesome. Yummy.
Hi, Dada.
Hi, sweetie girl.
I am a pirate.
You are a pirate? Let me see. Is that your pirate earring?
It's a clip-on one.
Yeah? You got a carrot?